Well, hello folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up that screen. Humbl. What in the world is going on with Humbl today? It jumped about 40 plus. It was up more than that at one point today, and I'm trying to figure out what the crap happened. So let's get into Humbl. All right, I've been all over the internet, social media, everywhere you can go to try to figure out what caused this jump today, and I haven't been able to figure it out. But let's look at what news we do know. We know we're going to have a shareholder call. It was said next week, and that was on June 30th, but they moved it to, I believe, the 11th due to, they said this was a short week because of July 4th, so they moved it to the 11th. It says the Humbl wallet has been shipped to the app stores for review. Humbl's new website is now live and will be continuously improved, and we know they've been working on Search 3. And here's where they said, due to the shortened holiday week, the next Humbl shareholder call will be at 7/11, and that's at 3:30 Pacific time. So that's what, 12:30 here in Eastern time. And recently an article came out, was talking about the Search 3. It said, Humbl recently launched Search 3, a new cross-chain search engine designed to help users explore Web3, a decentralized version of the World Wide Web. Built on blockchain, Search 3 is one of the first cross-chain NFT search engines where obviously you can search an NFT to make sure it's legit, and you can search the NFT by wallet or contract address across Ethereum, and of course blocks is the big thing they want people to use. Says consumers are able to confirm that NFTs have been verified by blocks, and blocks are very inexpensive and will cost a lot less than using Ethereum. And that'll help protect against fraud and forgery on NFT marketplaces. The search engine also shows customers where NFTs are available for purchase across various marketplaces. In addition to Search 3, the company is shipping a companion Humbl web wallet that enables customers to more seamlessly swap, transact with, and manage digital assets on Web3. This includes digital assets such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a whole list, including blocks, of course. And blocks is not owned by Humbl because it's decentralized, but the same founders of Humbl are basically the same founders of blocks. And I think the last time I checked, it was like half of 1 cent. So, I mean, it would be very inexpensive to use blocks to confirm the authenticity of an NFT. And it speaks to how the company is going to be working to monetize the Web3 search engine across advertising, sales, branded content, NFTs, marketplace commissions, and etc. And that's going to be very important because this company needs revenue big time. They really need it. Because if you look at their first quarter numbers, they did 1.1 million with cost of revenue of 500,000. But once you put in all their expenses, developmental costs, and then general administrative is the biggest things. There are some costs in here like stock-based compensation, which that's a dilution issue. It does dilute the company and dilute us as shareholders, basically. But it does not affect cash flow. It's a non-cash issue. But again, it does dilute shareholders. And here you see impairment of goodwill, etc., impairment. But the ones that concern me are developmental cost, professional fees, and then general administrative, which is about 4.5 million total, minus this. So they're losing about 4 million plus per quarter. So they're burning over $1 million a month, which is not terrible for a good sized company. That's not that bad, but they will need cash because if you look up at their balance sheet, they had about 6 million in cash approximately between that and accounts receivable. So they had about 6 months worth of cash, maybe 5, somewhere in that neighborhood, but they are planning on raising money or in the process of it. And we know they've been waiting on the approval of the S1, and this S1 now, which came out in November, has been amended 6 times. So perhaps we're going to hear about that, and on the 11th from Brian Foote, I'm sure he'll reference that and let us know either it's been approved or where we sit on it. But back in November, if you look at this thing, their goal was to raise money, and it would have happened through the warrants, which at the time, back in November, the price was above 20 cents, as I recall, and I believe that's where most of the warrants were. So I don't know if any money was raised through that or not. We don't know. I'd say we'll see that on the next balance sheet, and we may find out more about that on the 11th. And of course, I wanted to know if this was maybe a short squeeze or something along those lines, this big run up today. But the short volume was only 16%. So it wasn't particularly high on the 5th. So I wouldn't have thought a ton of people would have shorted first thing in the morning or anything like that. So I'm not sure what caused this to run today. But if you look at this chart, you can see this thing ran from 5 cents up to at 1.9 cents. So it was actually up about almost 60% at one time, wound up 43% by the end of the day. So we had some profit taking, and I'll show you that. On the 1 day, you can see how this thing ran and ran and ran up to 9.5 cents, and then it pulled back at the end of the day. In the last 30 minutes or so, it pulled back down, and we had some profit taking right there, probably from some day traders that jumped in on this thing as it ran. And of course, we know that George Sharp has let us know several months ago that there was likely a reverse split that was going to occur, and we don't know if it's definitely going to happen or when. We're just not sure, but he said it was likely. So for me, I've been holding off on this stock. I was holding off till December 3rd because that's when the dilution was going to happen. And we have had quite a bit of dilution. And as you can see here, we're sitting at 1.54 billion. And I believe back before December 3rd, we were like 900 million. So we've had a pretty good chunk of dilution, probably 650 million shares approximately, 700 million in that neighborhood. So there has been quite a bit of dilution since December 3rd. And like I said, I was planning on possibly doing some dollar cost averaging once that sort of leveled out. But with the reverse split sitting there, you know, as a possibility, I'm holding off. I'm just holding. I'm down just like the rest of us. And I'm just hoping the thing comes back in some significant way. And really, honestly, 40% is not going to, that doesn't do a whole lot. It's great. Look, I'm really happy to see it go up, but that's not enough after we've been down so much. But I root for this company. I hope it comes back. I really do, and I'm hoping this, look, this thing's been triple whammied. FinTech, like PayPal and Square, has crashed about 70%. Crypto has crashed 60, 70, 80. Some has, good grief, what was it? Voyager went into bankruptcy today, I believe it was. Might have been yesterday. So Voyager's gone down, and there's been others. And, of course, we had that big Terra Luna, I think it was, which was considered a stable coin, which was linked to the dollar, but it was done through some sort of an algorithm to Bitcoin, and it crashed down to basically zero, and that just absolutely freaked out the crypto market. It almost reminds me of Shearson Lehman. When that happened back in 2008, it reminds me a lot of that, actually, and it put us into basically a crypto winter. I can tell you, I don't know if we're in a crypto winter, but it feels like this. Yeah, exactly. It's been like that. So you've had not only FinTech, you've had crypto, and you've had all the penny and OTC stocks crushed as well. And what's Humbl? All freaking three of them. It literally is all three. It's FinTech, it's crypto, it's blockchain, it's OTC markets. It's the triple whammy. And it's crushed Humbl. It really has. And I know the company's had some problems like with the ETXs and some other things along those lines. And they've obviously had to move slowly due to all kinds of legalities. They don't want to get themselves in trouble. But some of the execution hasn't quite been there. And hopefully we'll see that getting turned around with this wallet, the app, and the website and the Search 3. Hopefully that gets rolling. They get those revenues up because like I said, this company, it needs revenue. And they need more money on their balance sheet. It's not a bad balance sheet at all. I don't want to sit here and say it's terrible, but it could be better. They do need some cash on it. A little bit more, probably, 10 million would be good to see on that balance sheet at least. If it was more than that, I'd be even more comfortable. But this reverse split's sitting there, and like I said, we'll find out more about that. Now remember, on this reverse split, it's not going to be like that first one, okay? It's not where we get 75% of our shares taken and they get theirs multiplied by 10,000. Whatever gets reverse split, all the insiders and the angel investors, they'll all be affected just like us. We're not culled from the herd on this one. Everybody will participate in the reverse split. So that does make a difference. But again, typically that's not good for a stock. So I'm going to be holding off until that's answered one way or the other. Then once I know, either wait for it to happen, or if it's not going to happen, then I could feel more comfortable. But that's where I'm at. I need more information. And that's really what it boils down to. But this company being up 40, 50% today, that's great. I'm glad. Any good news. I know all the Humbl folks out there are like, man, just any good news. We need some good news. All right, folks, and that's Humbl today. And look, if you know what happened, tell me, comment to me. Say, and I'm not just saying that so you'll comment to me and it'll help the algorithm. Look, I'm not concerned about that. If you know, tell me. and then we'll both know. And then I'll tell folks. But anyway, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover Humbl. And for those folks who've been asking me to cover it, you know, I had a reason to cover it today. There has not been a whole lot of news on Humbl, so there hadn't been a whole lot to cover. But today, with it popping like this and the information that we're going to have a investors call on the 11th, that's at least some news there. And like I say, today's something positive. But if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. And we'll see you next time on Mr. Frugal Investor.